The circulatory system.
There are various organs and components to the circulatory system. One is the heart. The function of the heart is to pump blood throughout the body. Another are blood vessels. Blood vessels transport blood throughout the body. There are two main types of blood vessels, arteries and veins. Arteries carry oxygenated blood away from the heart to the body, and veins carry oxygen-poor blood back from the body to the heart. The third is blood itself. Blood transports nutrients, hormones, oxygen, and other gases to and from cells.
Organisms are broken down by the number of chambers in their heart. Two-chambered heart organisms include types of fish. Three-chambered heart organisms include amphibians, and another three-chambered heart with some modifications include reptiles. Lastly, there are four-chambered hearts, which include organisms such as mammals and birds. Fish with two-chambered hearts have a systematic circuit for blood. The heart pumps blood to the gills that is then reoxygenated, and then the blood flows back into the body and into the heart. Three-chambered hearts for reptiles have a pulmonary circuit. This is when blood is pumped from the heart to the lungs and back, then into a second systematic circuit where blood is pumped into the body and then repeats the cycle again. Amphibians also have a three-chambered heart, but is a little different compared to reptiles. They have a third circuit that brings the deoxygenated blood in the skin in order for the process of gas exchange to happen. This process is known as pulmocutaneous circulation. Four-chambered hearts are very similar to the three-chambered hearts. They both have double circulation, which two-chambered hearts do not have. However, in a four-chambered heart, there are four heart valves and four chambers with a right and left atrium and a right and left ventricle. Double circulation is when there is an interior circuit within the heart where the blood enters, then leaves the heart, where it is then oxygenated, then goes back into the heart and gets pumped into the rest of the body. Included in double circulation is systemic and pulmonary circulation. Systemic circulation is the part of blood circulation that carries oxygenated blood away from the heart to the body and returns deoxygenated blood back to the heart. Pulmonary circulation is the part of blood circulation which carries deoxygenated blood away from the heart to the lungs and returns oxygenated blood back to the heart. The oxygenated blood is separated from the deoxygenated blood, which improves the efficiency of double circulation and is required for the warm-blooded lifestyle of mammals and birds. Four chambers means no mixing of deoxygenated and oxygenated blood, and therefore more oxygen gets to the tissues. Four-chambered hearts also allowed for mammals to become warm-blooded. One main advantage of the four-chambered heart is that it maintains body temperature. Four-chambered heart organisms are warm-blooded compared to the other chambered organisms which are cold-blooded. Also, four-chambered hearts are more efficient because they have four valves, two atriums, and two ventricles. Three-chambered hearts are efficient, but not as much as four-chambered hearts. Two-chambered hearts are the least efficient. Homeostasis is when a system regulates variables in order for the organism's internal conditions to remain stable and relatively constant. The variables being balanced and maintained include body temperature, blood pH, blood pressure, blood sugar, and water and ion balance. The circulatory system is necessary to maintain homeostasis because it's responsible for the circulation of blood through our bodies. The blood carries food to our cells and removes waste products from the body. The circulatory system therefore regulates and maintains the correct levels of nutrients, oxygen, and waste products required by cells. Without the circulation of blood throughout the body, cells would not receive the nutrients needed, or they would build up with toxins that need to be exported. The system works by moving oxygenated blood in a controlled and continuous cycle from the lungs and heart in order for blood to flow through several capillaries, then enter every cell in the body. Capillaries are only 1 cell thick, making them the smallest of the body's blood vessels. Nutrients and other essential materials pass from capillaries in the blood into fluids surrounding the cells as waste products are being removed.
This photo shows an example of pulmonary and systemic circuits in fish. In the photo, oxygenated and deoxygenated blood are only partially separated. Partial separation between oxygenated and deoxygenated blood evolved as a means to supplement oxygen intake. For example, in fish that are in oxygen-depleted water, oxygen intake can be supported by gulping air. This results in a limit in the amount of oxygen that can reach some of the organs and tissues of the body, reducing overall metabolic capacity of the fish. Organisms with partially separated circuits have relatively lower metabolic rates and can sustain themselves with blood that has lower oxygen levels. However, partial separation of oxygenated and deoxygenated blood often doesn't provide enough oxygen for organisms with high metabolic rates. This photo shows an example of the pulmonary and systemic circuits of a mammal. In this, oxygenated and deoxygenated blood are completely separated. Complete separation of oxygenated and deoxygenated blood allows for no mixing between oxygenated and deoxygenated blood, minimizes respiratory gas exchange, and maximizes availability of the amount of oxygen. Availability of oxygen is crucial to respiration, the central process that controls metabolic rate. If there is greater amount of oxygen available, then respiration can occur at a higher rate. Essentially, the evolution of increased separation between oxygenated and deoxygenated blood vessels supports higher metabolic activity due to greater oxygen availability.